Welcome, guys, to the first episode of, I'm not really sure what I'm going to call it, maybe Business Banter with Eastwood, working title. But I'm Roger Dupre. This is Oscar Salazar of the infamous Salazar brothers, owner of Mornings Kolaches. And
Yes, sir.
what are we here to talk about? Some awesomeness, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So,
I'm happy to be your first interview.
hey, man, I'm just glad. No one likes me. So, you know.
I'm sure it's the other way around. Everybody loves you.
But, you know, I think I told you the story how I found out about Mornings Kolaches. I remember seeing specifically what is not the correct term, not the bread cabinet, but on your boxes,
Yes.
bursting with flavor.
The flavor explosion.
Flavor explosion. So Mornings Kolaches flavor explosion. And if I could do editing correctly, I'll put it right there. But if not, I'm just pointing up at the ceiling, so that's terrible. But where did that come from? Where did flavor explosion come from? How did you guys think of that?
Well, actually, we wanted a logo for the company.
Okay.
We had our name with our cool logo that we designed
Very
before we
colorful.
opened. I had a good friend who knew computers when I didn't, and
Okay.
he helped me design the Starburst. Then I hired an artist, and I said, I want to draw an oven. This oven is blowing up. The glass is shattering. Kolaches are flying out.
Yeah.
And I want to use the tagline, the flavor explosion.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so an artist named Jay, what's Jay's last name? Jay Rauscher.
Rauscher. Okay. I have
was
a
a-
friend named Rauscher, actually.
Yeah,
Chris
this
Rauscher.
guy Jay was an incredible, he's a talented artist.
Yeah.
And so a friend of mine said, you got to call Jay Rauscher. He can design, he can draw something for you. And what he drew blew my mind.
Okay.
He drew an exploding oven.
Yeah.
And exactly what I pictured. I mean, the guy, from what my description
Yeah.
that I gave him, he drew exactly what I pictured. So it was incredible. Used them for a lot more things after that.
Okay.
Jay drew an oven, and the tagline underneath the oven was the flavor explosion, because the explosion of nothing but flavor. All the kolaches that were blowing out of the oven were all delicious and flavorful.
Yeah. Hey, and that is complete truth. Mornings Kolaches is one of my favorites. Tons of flavor.
Thank you.
Tons
Thank
of
you.
flavor. And also, you're coming. So nothing but cake. Beware. They're also now testing California flan cake. So
Yeah, that's something brand new.
yeah.
Only at this location at NASA Road
okay.
1, across from Johnson Space Center
Yeah.
and Houston, Space Center Houston. We're making a flan cake.
Okay.
We actually married a regular cake to flan.
Okay.
So our saying there is, once upon a time, a flan married a cake, and they lived happily ever after.
Yes.
So I'm combining
I've
two
heard that
products.
one before. That's
Yeah.
a classic.
It's a classic, right? Fairy tale from when I was a little boy.
Yeah, that's those flan fairy tales.
Yeah. But we developed it over time because it's actually something that exists. It's called the impossible cake, because you're combining two products that bake at different temperatures, different times.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
the flan actually requires a water bath.
Okay.
Otherwise, it turns brown and
Gotcha.
cracks. But so a couple of months of work, insistent work, we came up with a flan cake that is awesome. We make the cake could be yellow cake, white cake, strawberry chocolate. The flan's on top. We decorate it with whatever you want. Chocolate.
And by the way, I had this cake before we started.
Thank
Amazing.
you. Thank you very much.
Amazing. And I know no one likes this word, but very moist. Very moist. So very
Yes.
good. I don't know why people hate that word.
That's the key, though.
Yeah.
That's what we took from Nothing But Cakes. I have a friend that owns a franchise,
Yeah. Yeah.
and she gave me some pointers, but nothing that gave away their secrets.
Of course not.
But the secret is the moist cake, the dense, moist cake. It's not dry. It's not full of holes.
It's very moist.
So yeah,
I
absolutely.
don't know how many times I could get the word moist in the podcast, but
One more time.
one more
that's
time.
It.
It was very, very. Those cakes are very moist. So come get
Thank
your
you.
extremely moist flan cake at Mornings Kolaches. And I don't know if you heard it, but literally, they call it the impossible cake.
Yeah.
So this goes
True.
a lot goes into it, and I don't want to take
Yeah.
away from the Kolaches. So we'll go back to Mornings Kolaches. That's really why I'm here.
Yeah.
Looking forward to California flan cakes, but
Thank you.
so 1991.
Yes.
I believe that's when it all started, right?
Actually, it was 2 days before the beginning of 1991. It was
December 30th.
December 30th, 1990.
Okay.
1990.
Okay. Gotcha,
We
gotcha.
opened
Good
up
year.
on right before the new year because we wanted to do our taxes and be able to get some write-offs since
Smart.
we did start on a shoestring
Smart.
and we were out of money. We opened up right before the end of the year. So we're coming on 30 years here
Yeah, that's crazy.
very, very soon. 2020 will be 30 years. 1990, December 30th, we started out building a store. We found a location on Bay Area Boulevard in Clear Lake.
Yeah.
The building had been burned. It had been a restaurant called Paisley's. It burned down. We came in there. We had to put up walls, which we did all ourselves with the help of some key people. We put up walls, put down the flooring, did the ceiling tiles, ceiling grid.
Oh, wow.
Had a friend
so you
of
did
mine.
all the construction.
All the
yourself.
construction, and we didn't know how to do anything, but we hired an old fella that helped us a bunch.
Okay.
Hardworking old man. He must have been 72 years old.
Oh, wow.
Then a friend of mine named David Pearsall, who was an electrician at the time, helped us do the electricity. We pulled all the wire through conduit. Hard work.
Yeah.
But
man.
we did everything ourselves down to breaking the concrete for the plumbing. Plumber said,
Oh, wow. You're doing
yeah. The plumber said, hey, if you break the concrete,
Yeah.
save me that time, I'll do you a better deal. He
How do you
actually
break
went to
the
high school with me.
concrete?
The concrete. Well, I actually worked at a chemical plant at the time. I was working at
Okay.
Lyondell Petrochemical.
Lyondell, all right.
I went to the tool room. I checked out jackhammer.
So Lyondell just let you check out.
They did.
Tools?
They did. They would let us.
They let you check out tools.
I never used one. Of course, I said, "Oh yeah, I know how to use this thing."
Yeah.
They gave me the whole setup, the actual iron that goes with it to beat up the concrete.
Oh wow. Okay.
So
That had to be massive.
it was a huge machine.
Yeah.
I got it in my dad's truck, brought it to the site, started breaking concrete out that evening, and we did it for about 2 or 3 days. When I took the jackhammer back to Lyondell, I think I was still vibrating from all the jackhammering we did for 2 or 3 days. But
paid a toll there.
oh yeah, what? We built the company from the bottom up.
Yeah.
So if anybody says you didn't build that,
Yeah.
I beg to differ.
Yeah.
We worked hard.
Yeah.
But it's been a blessing from then. We've worked hard. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah.
But things have gone well, and I can't be thankful to God enough
Yeah.
for
And you
our
guys work
luck.
super hard, and I mean, literally building the whole store
Yeah.
by hand.
Yeah.
I know there's a lot of people out there probably starting out new companies.
Yep.
Not sure where to start. Advice you would give them?
Well, I started this company without knowing anything about kolaches. I knew how to
Good
eat
start.
them. Yeah, I knew how to eat them, and I loved them. And I knew I wanted to do something that people would love, people would follow. And so I said, these kolaches are the best. I found a kolache shop in Pasadena that I would pass on my way back from work after
Okay.
graveyards, and I'd pick up a couple of kolaches.
Okay.
And I said, I can do this. I can make kolaches like this. I started making them at home, and they turned out pretty good.
Yeah.
When we got in the store, after we built the store and got the commercial equipment in,
Yeah.
it wasn't giving me the same results.
Okay.
So we worked really, really hard. I think we opened on a Monday morning. It was a Saturday before that Monday that we had a recipe, got it to work, actually. So we started selling the kolaches, changed the recipe twice the first year. But what I'm trying to say is, don't get into something that you know nothing about.
Okay. So this is like
It's a disadvantage.
arbitrage tale right here that I think I don't even know if that's what I'm talking about.
Well, actually, somebody told me at the time, sounded quite offensive.
Okay.
Now I take it as a huge compliment.
I'm excited to hear this.
They said you guys are like a bumblebee.
Oh,
And I
okay.
said, a bumblebee? He goes, yeah. A bumblebee, because of its aerodynamic design, the huge body, the small wings, it shouldn't fly.
Goofy looking animal.
Goofy looking little insect.
I see now why you're a little offended.
Yeah, and I said, wait a minute. He says, well, that bumblebee doesn't know that it can't fly.
Yeah.
It's too dumb to know it can't fly.
Okay.
So it flies.
Yeah.
But aerodynamically, it shouldn't fly.
Yeah.
He said, so you're like a bumblebee. I was quite offended, but now that I look back and I think about it, well, that's just a testament to my determination, my hard work, and my perseverance. Like the bumblebee, it shouldn't fly, but it flies anyway, because it wants to fly, and it makes it happen.
So if you were to tell anyone, the best advice would just be to be like a bumblebee, huh?
Be like a bumblebee.
So not think about it, not think about the things you're lacking or can't do, and just do it.
I think Billy Joel put it best in one of his songs. He said, I'd rather be less of a thinking man and more a fool who's not afraid of rejection. And it applies to different things in life. And I'm sure he meant it about, going after a girl. But I think that you have to in business. You can't be afraid of rejection. You can't be afraid of failing. You've got to go for it.
Yeah.
Don't think so much. Just do it.
Just do. Don't overthink. Just do.
Exactly.
That was tough for me. Coming from a math background, I had to
right. All logic for you.
It was. I had to untrain myself.
Right. And you've done well because you took your company, started it from scratch, and you made it what it is today. Yeah. It's your work. It's your job. You're very successful.
Hey, I'm trying. Every day.
Every day. We try every day.
We try every day. So you did mention that you, because I was going to ask, because you said you didn't know much about Kolaches. You said there was a place that you were coming back from. So when did it hit you that you're like, this is the thing? And like, why did you think that was the thing?
I get off of graveyards at 4:30 in the morning, drive home. The Kolache shop opened early. I'd pick up 2 Kolaches. I love the Kolaches, and they didn't have a drive-through, so you had to come inside. I'm looking at the ovens. I'm looking at people pulling things out of the oven, turning them, putting them back in the oven, taking them out. The smell, the Kolaches. I said, this is something I can do, and I love those Kolaches. And I called the gentleman that owned the place. Okay. I said, sir,
Are they still in business over there?
They are, but Mr. Wheeler has passed away a long time ago. He was an older man. He actually was the president of Rainbow Bread for a time. Okay.
And I knew a lot about carbs.
Oh, he knew a lot about
King Carbs.
Bread. Yes, bread in general. But I said, is there any way I can have your recipe to make these Kolaches? He said, no, you can't have my recipe. And of course not. Who would give me the recipe? It's their livelihood. Right. Ask me that now, and I tell you, no, you can't have my recipe. But he did give me a pointer, and he said, you can go to the library, check out a book on Czechoslovakian cooking.
Czechoslovakia?
Czech. These are Czech. They come from Czechoslovakia. The Czech settlers in Texas brought Kolaches with them. Okay. And they changed Texas. They changed my life, that's for sure. But I went to the library. I got a book called Generations. That was a Czech cookbook. I found several Kolache recipes in there. And I think that I combined several recipes, came up with our recipe. It wasn't commercial enough because it was the kind of bread that you had to beat down and let it rise, beat down, let it rise.
Oh, okay.
So we changed the recipe to make it more commercial.
Okay.
Didn't have time to beat it down and let it rise.
Yeah.
So it rises on its own with the yeast and the temperature, and then we work it. We make the magic. Every Kolache is made by hand. Yeah. Make the flavor explosion. Every Kolache is made by hand.
Oh wow.
They're hand rolled. So the magic is in the baking.
Hand rolled Kolaches.
Absolutely. Daily.
So basically, you came up with the idea while you were working, went over, asked the owner for his recipe, had no idea what you were doing.
Right.
And you literally went to the library.
Pasadena Public Library.
Pasadena,
believe it or not.
Yeah, and then checked out a book of Czechoslovakian immigrant recipes.
Cookbook.
Wow, that's
absolutely.
Talk about an interesting start.
I'll never forget that book. It's called Generations. And that was 30 some odd years ago because I started making these at home, and I love the Kolaches, and I just knew I wanted to do something. I came out of the Marine Corps, and I was fortunate enough to get a job at a chemical plant. So that's where it all started. I worked at Lyondell Petrochemical for 13 years as a chemical operator.
Oh, wow, okay.
So that was a start. Thank God everything lined up. I guess everybody's story, something has to line up.
Yeah, that's true.
And so that was how it lined up for me.
But you did all the hard work to get you to the point where it could line up, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. Right. You got to stay the course.
Yeah, yeah. Did you, during that whole time, I mean, your shoestring budget.
Absolutely.
All your brothers, you're literally doing construction before you could even bake.
Yes, sir.
Baking something you didn't know.
Right.
Was there any point where you're like,
what am I doing
what
here?
am I doing?
Absolutely,
yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
We would make the Kolaches with our commercial equipment,
right.
Big mixers, the ovens, the proof boxes, and nothing came out right. I told you that we got the recipe perfected 2 days before the opening, and we'd been under construction for 6 months, paying rent already, and we had passed our construction period, paying rent.
Oh, wow.
And so, yeah, it got to the point where, what are we doing here, man? I mean, made a huge mistake. But we persevered. I actually, I took a baking class at San Jacinto College. A lady was given a bake class on Kolaches. My brother found it in a flyer. And we took the class. At the end of the class, I told the lady, I said, ma'am, I'm doing just this. What you're teaching us, Kolaches here, is what I'm doing. It was just, gosh, fortuitous. I mean, that was the hand of God. Yeah. That they had a Kolache baking class right before we opened our school. Yeah. Our store. Her name is Nelda. She worked for the LaPorte Independent School District in the kitchen. Okay. I said, is there any possibility you can help me get my recipe down? I have a recipe. I'm just not getting the procedure right. Okay. She said, sure. So we hired her to come to the store. Oh, wow. And she worked with us for the first month. We got the recipe down. And then well, prior to opening, she worked for us for about a month. We got the recipe down, opened up, and the rest is history. That's awesome. But Nelda was always an angel. Yeah. As far as the way we look at it, Nelda, she's an angel. Came to our store for many years. I don't know, I haven't seen her lately, but she never paid for a Kolache.
That makes sense.
Absolutely. She was the key.
She's the catalyst to everything.
Absolutely.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of points that were the catalyst.
Yeah, that was a point that I said, what am I doing? What did I do? I signed a lease. Yeah. We're running out of money.
How long was the lease?
The lease was a 5-year lease.
Oh, so straight to 5 years.
Straight to 5 years. They wouldn't do anything else.
Wow.
My dad loaned me $5,000 to start paying rent. We paid him within 6 months after opening. Thank God, everything started going very well.
That's great.
Our first customer came in, and it was a lady.
Okay.
And I said, oh, what do I do? And my brother pushed me. He goes, go sell her Kolaches. So I said, how can I help you? And she took Kolaches. The second customer came in, said, I'll take 1 cream cheese Kolache. Yeah. He walks out. 10 minutes later, he comes back. And I said, something went wrong with that Kolache. And he said, hey, let me have a dozen of those Kolaches.
Oh, nice.
I said, what? He goes, yes, I'll have a dozen Kolaches. I said, my God. So I packed him up a dozen Kolaches, rung him up, and he said, are you Czech? I looked down at my arm, and I said, no, sir, I'm not. I'm Mexican. I should have said, yes, I am. I just have a great tan. But he became a customer for many, many years. I haven't seen him anymore. He was up in age, but many, many years he came to our store for Kolaches. And that was probably, for me, the biggest sign that you're doing something right. Oh, he said, I'm Czech, by the way, and these are the best Kolaches I've ever tasted.
Oh, wow.
I said, that's the sign that we did the right thing.
Yeah. You hear that, Kolache Factory? Best.
Kolache Factory's good. I think ours are a little bit better, but theirs are good.
That's a sign of a good business owner, right there. The fact that you said Kolache Factory is good and didn't down talk them. I've noticed that everyone that praises their competition. My company was talking about this morning, that never badmouth your competition.
I think that if you badmouth your competition, it just shows you that. I mean, it shows how you feel. Yeah. You know, and how insecurity. It shows a lot of things about you.
You're not confident in your own product.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Of course, I wasn't thinking that when I said that, because that's the way I really feel. Kolache Factory is good. As a matter of fact, they came up with the jalapeno kolache, and I'm sorry, the jalapeno popper.
Okay.
Jalapeno popper was their product. Somebody said, "Have you tried the jalapeno popper at Kolache Factory?" I said, "I have not," but I went and got a jalapeno popper, and I created the same product. I call mine Jolly Pinos, like jalapeno, but jolly, Jolly Pinos, and it's been a great seller.
That's good.
But yeah, my props to the Kolache Factory. They've done they created an incredible business.
Yeah.
They've grown, and they're doing very well.
Aggressively grown.
Yes.
Aggressively grown.
It's a good company.
Speaking of growing, you guys started out with 1. You're at 7 now.
Yes, sir.
So I know, let's say someone's listening that has a restaurant looking to open another restaurant. If you could give some advice on what they need to figure out before they make that next step, what do they have to have all hemmed up before they go to number 2 or number 3 or number 4?
That's a good question. There are some key things that I've learned from friends along the way.
Okay.
One in particular, Russell Ibarra from Gringos. He told me I'm talking 20 some odd years ago, he said, you can't drive a Volkswagen in the back door and pull a Cadillac out the front. You can't do that.
What?
Quality, yes. He said, you've got to bring in good products in the back door to make a great product in the front door.
Okay.
So quality is number one. Mm-hmm. And I never forget what Russell said, but I buy the best products, the best cheeses, the best sausage. As a matter of fact, J. Barbie makes the sausage strictly for us.
Yeah.
We buy about 10,000 pounds a month of sausage. Quality of your product, number one. But right along with the quality is your customer service. That has to be utmost.
Yeah.
So we foster that within our employees. We don't bird dog our employees. We teach them to self-direct.
Quality and customer service.
Absolutely.
It goes down to culture, yeah?
They go hand in hand.
Okay.
If you want to grow your company, I think the most important thing is your team, though. Mm-hmm. Your team of people our ladies that wake up at 3 a.m, they're here very early making kolaches, baking them for when our first customer walks in at 5 a.m., he's got a variety to choose from. All nice, warm, freshly baked. Our team is indispensable. I mean, we couldn't do it without our team. We have front counter managers that care about customer service, about quality, product quality. We have ladies in the back that make the kolaches, bake them, and they have their system where all their ingredients for the mixer are set up before they go in the mixer. Okay. That way there's no, oh my God, did I put the sugar in? Oh, did we put the yeast in? Yeah. There's no forgetting anything.
Okay.
That happened in the past. So we've learned. We have a table set up with all the ingredients where they need to be. Very, very organized, and that organization's key.
Yeah.
But your team, you have to foster a family feeling for your team. They need to feel like a family.
I came in, someone had a birthday.
Absolutely.
And you're all eating together?
They were all eating. They had a birthday party. We provided the desserts, flan cake and tres leches.
Plug the flan again.
Yes. The flan's delicious. I'm telling you.
Hey, I already ate it, and I ate it all. So.
Yeah, that's true. True. So one of the girls hadn't sat down with the rest of the team, and I said, hey, you're not going to eat with the family?
Yeah.
And she said, yeah, I'm fixing to eat right now. But it came out the family, because I do view us as a family. Right. We're here day in, day out. I think we see each other here at the store more than we see our families at home sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes, yeah.
So we foster that family feeling here. We try to make everybody feel like they're part of the team. And that's what makes us successful.
Yeah.
The team makes us successful.
Yeah.
We're all successful because of the strength of the team.
Well, if they're working hard and together, they're obviously happy where they're at, right?
Absolutely.
So
our first employee just retired. She started with me probably 2 months. First employee ever. Yeah. Her name's Betty Anguiano. She started with us 2 months before we opened up.
Okay.
we worked hard at developing the recipe with Nelda. She was there the whole time.
Yeah.
She worked with us 29 years. At one point, she became a roving GM, where she'd go to every store and make sure everything was consistent. The recipe stayed consistent. Then she just decided she wanted to stay at one store. But she did an incredible job for us. Always be thankful to Betty for the work she did.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that along the way that we are thankful to and for, because they were key in helping us build this small company. Small company, but I'm very proud of it. We've had a lot of employees.
Yeah, 7 stores, man. That's not anything to.
Yeah, it's certainly not on the grand scale of Pappas or anything like that, but
Compare yourself to Pappas.
Well, they were, when I first came back.
You don't want to be the next Fertitta?
Yeah, I'd rather be Mr. Pappas.
Oh, okay.
I came back from the Marine Corps, and there was a magazine at the store at Randall's.
Okay.
It was a Texas Monthly, and it featured the Pappas brothers and their accomplishments. I read the whole story, and I said, my gosh, I want to be like them one day. Of course, you're not always going to land where you shoot for. But if you shoot for the stars, you'll be somewhere.
Somewhere in the clouds?
In the clouds,
right.
yeah.
So I was going to say, so if you got 7 now, California Flan's on the next up and coming, I think. But what's you guys looking to grow a little bit more?
Gosh, I do want to start California Flan Company on a bigger scale. A store making California flan cakes.
Yeah.
Making tres leches cakes. Even your higher end carrot cakes, all higher end cakes.
A partner will like that.
Oh gosh, I love carrot cake. We have good recipes. We just haven't developed them all. But that's my next goal, is California flan cake, storefront, give Nothing But Cakes a little competition.
Yeah.
I love Nothing But Cakes. I love their business plan. I love everything about them.
They're great.
They're great. And the owners that I've met that own the franchises are all high quality people.
Yeah, everyone I've talked to from there is amazing.
Very, very amazing people.
Shout out to Nancy.
And well, they're all hardworking people.
Yeah.
Because the franchise was created, everything was set up, but without the hard work, the main ingredient, the hard work, you have nothing. We're talking about the Pappas brothers, and I think that in business, the person I admire most, without a doubt, is Howard Schultz from Starbucks. I met him. I've met him on 2 occasions now. I admire him so much. I told Mr. Schultz, I said, Mr. Schultz, had you never been born, and they'd given me the blueprints for what you did with Starbucks, if I had them in my hands, I don't know that I could have done it. That's a feat. He's global. He started a store. Well, he worked the store, bought the store, but then he created the entire organization. But that one store led to another, then another city, another state, global.
It's crazy.
How do you manage something like that?
You got to have the right people, I think.
Well, the right people and the right vision, the heart, the soul. And he said, pour your heart into it in his first book. I've read all 3 of his books. Huge inspiration. And I had to throw that out there.
No worries.
What a man. To me, he's the utmost in business.
Okay.
I admire Steve Jobs. Sometimes I call this iPhone my Steve phone. I admire him. Of course, he's not with us anymore, but
industry leaders.
Yeah, and cutting edge visionaries. That it wasn't easy. It wasn't easy, but they persevered, worked entirely too much sometimes, but their vision came across. They created things that changed the world. Especially Steve Jobs.
So now we got a flan cake coming to change
the
world.
I'm going to make everybody fat.
Yeah, because America needs more of that.
No. We're going to make them sweet.
Oh,
we won't
okay,
make them fat.
Sweet. All right,
sweet.
Make everyone more. That should be your slogan, making the world sweeter. One flan cake at a time.
Well, baking your day a little brighter, making your day a little sweeter.
I don't read that.
that's one of our taglines.
Making your day a little brighter.
Baking your
That's
day a
good.
little sweeter, making your day a little brighter, depending on what store you're at.
Right.
It'll be a different slogan.
Yeah.
But we
Nothing
also
says happiness like a little sugar and a little bread.
absolutely,
Carbs
absolutely.
are where it's at.
Carbs are everything.
I
That I'm trying to stay away from right now.
know. I know. That's
But
funny.
no, I've enjoyed my kolaches for a minute. Look, 30 years baking kolaches,
Yeah.
and I still have 2 sausage and cheese with jalapeno every morning.
Yeah.
2 jalapeno kolaches every morning. It's the only kolache I eat, really,
Yeah.
because I love it.
Yeah.
And it's not like,
Jalapenos. What is it?
well, the jalapeno's good too,
Yeah.
but me, I have 2 sausage and cheese with jalapenos every morning.
Yeah.
That's the only kolache I eat.
Oh, man.
And I'm not saying that I won't eat a ham and Swiss once in a while because it's really good, but the jalapeno ones are the ones that just pull me in. I love jalapenos.
Pull you in.
Oh my God. And every morning, I mean, after 30 years, people say, are you tired of your product? No, I'm not tired of my product. I eat it every day.
Yeah.
Well, for one, I do want to taste the quality of my product every day.
Of course.
I want to make sure that every kolache that goes out these doors is made
Exactly. Yeah.
perfectly. Yeah, I love our kolaches and I love our flan cakes.
Yeah. I remember the first time we talked about seeing that box with the
flavor explosion.
flavor explosion. I recall coming to Texas having no clue what a kolache was.
Right. Yeah.
And now I can't believe I've missed out on that for 9 years.
But you're here now.
But I'm here now.
Absolutely.
And I have the connect.
Absolutely.
The real
Absolutely.
connect. What I did want to ask, because you said it was really tough in the beginning, I know that 30 years is long. They say the percentage that something's going to last for the first couple of years is ridiculously low.
Right.
30 years has to be insanely low. That time frame, what would you say is like the lowest point? Like the point that took the most effort and to kind of get out of it, like the biggest problems, worst situations, what have you?
You know, my youngest brother's an engineer.
Okay.
Graduated from U of H with a degree in computer
Go
engineering.
Cougars.
Yes, go Cougars. He never worked as an engineer. He came straight to the company, hard worker, smart kid. Implemented a lot of systems that we use today. So you know, we worked hard, always worked hard, and things have been. We've been blessed. I mean, I can't tell you, things have been super easy, if I can use that word.
Hey.
I hate using that word, but they haven't been easy because we've worked hard.
Clear sailing.
Yeah, smooth sailing.
Smooth sailing.
There's been hard work all along. We've had to, you know, hem up the sails and bring them down. It's always been hard work, but it's been blessed. These last 2 years, we're talking 17, 18, 19, last 2.5 years have been challenging. The area where we are now suffered Harvey 2 years ago. It was devastating to a lot of people. I mean, hugely devastating. We're still feeling the effects of that, believe it or not. I think that the political climate, with especially now with this impeachment,
A lot of uncertainty.
push, a lot of uncertainty. You said it.
Yeah, that's my favorite word, uncertainty.
Right.
The general environment is rocky.
It's been tough.
And so
been
how
tough.
does that affect you then?
Well, times get tough, the tough get going, right? That's what incited me, or that's what led me to create California Flan Cakes, California Flan Cake Company. You've got to persevere. Times are tough.
Yeah.
The climate's bad out there. People are holding on to their money. Our customer counts are about the same, but the per
Probably
ticket.
because of how good your customer service is.
Yes, I mean, people come through, but instead of buying a dozen to take with them to work, they buy 2 kolaches for themselves. They're holding on to their money. You said it, uncertainty. And when times are uncertain, what's the best thing to do? Hold on to your money, because you don't know what's coming next.
So then when times are uncertain as a business owner,
Right.
you need to...
You that's when you shine on customer service. You make sure your product's always on spec, the best product you can make, and you innovate different things, different products. We've added products to the lineup. Some stay, some don't, but we've done a lot of things. We created California Flan Cake Company. That's gonna, like I told you a while ago, we're gonna be making tres leches cakes. But when we talk about tres leches cakes, we're going to make the best or nothing. So we're developing our tres leches, getting the best recipe, best flavor, best texture. And so that's what we're doing.
Yeah. By the way, I tried the tres leches before we did this. I know you were very insistent on it. Didn't pick up the milk correctly.
It wasn't the best.
But definitely top 5 tres leches. Without that I've had at least.
You know, it didn't soak up the tres leches, the milk, like it should.
Yeah.
It wasn't baked long enough or too long. I'm working on my procedure.
But
I gotta tell you, the cake's still delicious.
Oh, yeah.
It just wasn't sopping wet with all the symphony of flavors that are in the milks.
Symphony of flavors.
Oh yeah, well, you've got the 3 milks, which is a table cream, condensed milk, evaporated milk, and those together. I mean, I drink coffee from time to time, and if I don't have evaporated milk to put in my coffee as my creamer, I won't drink the coffee. I love the flavor of evaporated milk. I love the flavor of condensed milk. So that's what makes the tres leches so good. I made 2 cakes today. You tasted the first one. The second one is back there soaking up the milks, and it's doing much better. So I'm a lot happier with the second version. I'll be cutting it up in a minute so you can try another piece.
Come on.
Load up on those carbs, man.
Oh, man. Carbs are king.
All you have to do is go do 30 more minutes on your elliptical, and you're going to be good.
How do you know I do the elliptical?
You look like an elliptical user.
I look like an elliptical. I don't think that could be a good thing.
It's a good thing.
I don't think that's a good thing.
You're fit.
Thank you. Caught me off guard with the elliptical. Well, that's pretty awesome. So you double down. So when times are tough, you double down on what you know.
Yeah.
And at the same time, try to bring in something new to mix it up.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I think that all the successful companies are doing that. And I've learned a lot from a lot of friends. You have to innovate. You have to expand. You have to, when times are tough is when you work the hardest. And I tell people, they say, how's business? Not as good as it was last year, but I'm working harder. It is funny. Correlation, you're making less on your bottom line, but you're working harder. When times are good.
Because you got to survive.
Yeah, you have to survive.
Right.
When times are good is when you relax a little bit more. So anyway, there have been years where there's been 0 vacation. But most times we take 1 vacation a year. That's all I need. 1 vacation a year. I love to work, and I love the work I do.
Yeah, we were talking about that before.
Absolutely. I love what I do. I mean, when I make my cakes and I throw them in the trash because they're not good, like I threw away so many kolaches in the beginning. It's okay. I don't get mad. I throw it in the trash, start over.
Not afraid to fail.
You have to not be afraid to fail. But you have to pick up the banner and run with it.
I got you.
Do it again. Do it again. Insistency, perseverance.
Yeah.
That's the name of the game.
Okay. So customer service, culture, be a bumblebee.
Be a bumblebee, man.
Be a bumblebee.
As bad as it sounded when he told me that.
Too dumb to know you can't fly.
Too dumb you don't fly.
Yeah.
But therefore you do it.
Yeah.
Too dumb to know you can't fly, so therefore you do it.
Persistence.
Absolutely.
Well, I'm looking forward. I was surprised. Why not real up north, Spring Woodlands?
Oh my God. I'm getting older now.
Yeah.
I wished I'd started expansion at an earlier time. There's people that email me all the time. Can you bring a store to Katy? Can you bring a store to the Woodlands? It's just it gets to be too much to encompass and do right. I could open a store, hire management, and let it run. It's never going to be the same quality as we put out. The stores where my brothers and I are at daily. We are at the stores daily. So we make sure the product quality is there.
So the reason why it's so good is the attention to detail from the OGs.
Absolutely. That's the way it's got to be. I mean, not that my team does a good job. I don't have any complaints. I come here, I look at things. I'm very pleased every day. But you do have to have your finger on the pulse to make sure that everything is good. you have employees. Employees have needs. So you're always taking care of things, putting out fires here and there. But that's how I thrive. I like doing that.
Yeah.
And I guess I just don't want to go far away. I don't want to have to, drive 40 miles one way and then something goes wrong and you're too far away to take care of it.
I got you.
So we have 7 little stores on the southeast.
Yeah.
We take care of them well and they run well.
Yeah.
And we have happy employees.
Well,
thank God.
That's important. So not much more expansion for Mornings Kolaches. Looking for it. Where's the California flan going to be? Where can people? Where are you looking?
Well, once we get it out of the kolache shop and go and find a storefront, I hope to be on Berry Boulevard here in Clear Lake.
Okay.
Where Nothing But Cakes is, because the franchise of Nothing But Cakes is there on Berry Boulevard. I think that's where we need to be.
So you're going to be direct competition. Do you know that owner?
I do.
Okay.
She's a wonderful lady.
Yeah.
It's a mother and daughter team. They're wonderful people.
Okay.
Very, very nice people. And we'll never dethrone them. We're never going to be where they are. So they have nothing to fear about business. They are cemented. They're great.
Yeah.
Just a little market share is all I want.
Just a little bit.
And I think that when you have that competition, both thrive. Both thrive. You are, there's plenty of people to go around.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's true.
Not everybody likes flan.
It's true.
Not everybody
likes bun cakes.
Bun cake.
I mean,
Nothing but cakes.
That one's hard to believe. They're delicious.
Yeah, they are. They're wonderful.
All right. Well, I was gonna say when you have that open, I'd love to get the tour going, see what's popping. We'll look forward to that. Until then, continue this amazing Mornings Kolaches situation. I really enjoyed the time.
I think that I'd be remiss if I didn't mention my electricity provider.
It's not about me.
It's my electricity provider, Eastwood Electric Company.
Eastwood Energy.
Eastwood Energy.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah, and I know that.
That's not looking bad. That doesn't look good.
No. You guys, you were very insistent in the beginning when I first spoke to you on the phone. Hadn't met you. We talked for 2 years. I was in a contract with another company, and you were there all the way until the end of that contract. You signed us up, gave us a great deal, always personable, and that's the secret of your success. You have to be personable in any endeavor. If you're not, who wants to be around a lion all the time? So you. Well,
if anyone was watching, obviously it's very easy to talk to you. So.
Oh, thank you, man.
Yeah.
But you are. You were very insistent, and everything you promised, you delivered. So I do appreciate it.
What if it under promise, over deliver?
Absolutely. We've had the same accountant for 27 years now.
Yeah.
We found him in the 3rd year of our business, but we've had him for 27 years. Paget Business Services.
Oh yeah.
Very good company. And so I look forward to 30 years with you.
All right.
I don't know if,
well, hopefully we're going to see changes both ends. So,
absolutely.
There's going to be a lot of. That's a long time.
Yeah.
Hey.
Absolutely.
Well, Oscar, I'm glad you came on. I know this is the first one, so for anyone watching today or listening today on the podcast, sorry. But I'm very glad I got to meet one of the infamous Salazar brothers and have you on the podcast.
Well, thank you very much. It was a pleasure. Thank you very much for thinking about me.
Okay.
First interview ever done. So you took an interest in me. Thank you very much.
Yeah, no. And one last thing. One word that would sum up how to be successful in business. What would that be? One word.
Bumblebee.
Bumblebee. Be a bumblebee. All right. And on that, Oscar, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks again for tuning in for the first time to, I'm not sure what I'm going to call it, so I got a working title, Business Banter with Eastwood Energy. I'm here with Oscar Salazar, Mornings Kolaches. If you are in the area, come in. I'm off of the NASA 1 Road location, Johnson Space Center. I know engineers love to get free food, so come on in and get you some amazing flavor. All right.
Flavor explosion.
Flavor explosion.
Yes.
Get you some flavor explosion. All right. Oscar.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
You bet.